Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Monday Nitro. Folks, we got a big show lined up for you indeed. Last week there was so much buzz going around as Bret Hart turned on Finn Balor post-match, hitting him with the steel chair not once, but twice. And I have been told on good authority that both men are here tonight, and we are going to get to the bottom of the whole debacle. And that's our world champion right there, folks. Let's take you to the ring.
Last week, with this very same steel chair, Bret the Hitman Hart cracked me over the skull, not once, but twice. Now I think it's a little too early to jump the gun and say that he's aligned himself with the Bullet Club, but I will say this. If he wants a piece of Finn Balor, all he has to do is walk down that aisle. I'll put my title on the line, and we'll fight it out. But Bret, next time you stab Finn Balor in the back, you're gonna need more than a chair to put me down. So let's not stand upon ceremony. Why don't you come on down and let's have this fight once and for all. Finn, you need to settle down. My uncle Bret Hart will be here tonight, but he will not be here right now. Now Finn, I've come here to cool you off because when Bret gets here, he's going to give you the beating of a lifetime. I'm just telling you, from a personal standpoint, that if I were you, I wouldn't be in this arena when he gets here. If you think I'm afraid of your uncle, you got another thing coming. And if I were you, I would leave the ring now while you still have two legs to walk on. And that's the thing right there, Finn. You talk a big game, but here's the problem. You see, Finn, I hate to tell you this, but you had it coming. You had it coming, and when Bret gets here, he's going to explain everything to you. But it's a shame that all these people forgot. And we, Hart family members, don't ever forget. But since you're feeling generous tonight, you want to put that world championship on the line, I've got nothing to do. How about you and I have a match right now? Balor seemed to agree to the idea as an official came down to the ring. He rose the title belt up, calling for the bell, and the match began. Needless to say, Balor was in a hot-tempered mood tonight, but DH was able to cool him down with his power game and strength, actually even having a strong submission game wearing Balor down. Balor had to dig deep as he was thrown to the outside, needing a minute to rethink strategy as DH caught him with one hell of a shoulder block. He then got him again and then a third one, raising him up for the power slam. But Balor slid free, now starting to catch him with the high-flying game, dropping him with the switchblade, and they climbed to the top rope, leaping, but missed the coup de grace, quickly rolling to his feet as he got his head taken off with a clothesline. The match seemed to be over as he grabbed his legs, going for the sharpshooter, but Balor kicked him free, dropping him with a back body drop to the outside.
He needed to catch his wits, leaping over with one hell of a plancha, tossing him into the ring, missing a clothesline, and blasted him with a Pele kick, then dropped him with the Bloody Sunday. He then moved to the corner, lining up his shot, and nailed him with the Silver Bullet. Covering! Getting a hold of the wall tile and just went down at him. He should have thrown him to the floor, but instead held a little more class than that. Raising the belt up, looking around, making sure the club or Brett weren't lurking in the wings. Making his way to the back. This was your first official match on the card, as it was Kevin Owens going one-on-one with Matt Hardy. Matt was looking to try to get some wins in the W section here, and Owens was still hurting from his match against Flair, but still had that mean streak going. They would fight for what appeared to be one hell of a war for 10 minutes. Hardy, having that high-flying game, was able to drop Owens, but Owens did have that unorthodox style and was able to drop Hardy down. He climbed on the top rope, leaping for a cannonball splash, but he missed. Hardy going for the twist of fate, but Owens was able to counter that and dropped him down with the pop-up powerbomb, scoring the win. Owens would roll his shoulder and made his way outside, starting to make his way up the ramp, holding his head, pointing out that he wanted a title pretty damn soon, heading for the curtain. Moved to the back where Ric Flair was making his way through the aisleway. He pushed through some of the cameramen and would knock on J.J. Dillon's door, slowly entering as we would fade to black, cutting a commercial. Back to Monday Nitro, folks. We're joined here by Chris Jericho, who I'm sure has some invested interest in this match. What are you talking about, you idiot? Of course I have interest in this match. Within a promotional bout between the National Wrestling Alliance and New Japan, a brand I am a part of, and I am its champion, I am its figurehead, and I'm just making sure that New Japan puts on a hell of a show. Because if they don't, they'd have to answer to the greatest of all time, the best in the world at what he does, the FIP World Champion, Chris Jericho. Now, if you please shut up so I can pay attention to the match and actually enjoy it. Ladies and gentlemen, this contest is inter-promotional bout. Currently in the ring, he is the inspirational Bo Dallas. style, Shinsuke Nakamura. Saunter into the ring, just smiling over at Dallas as the ref would ring the bell. Dallas walked over, going to shake his hand, and then cracked him over the face. He would jump up and down, doing a victory lap, and as he came around, Nakamura caught him with one hell of a roundhouse across the face. Nakamura then scooped him up and dropped him with a brainbuster, coming off the rope and blasted him with his fucking head off with a Bama-Ya knee. Nakamura got the victory here, slowly rising up and will start to remove his ring vest, wearing a Nakamura t-shirt, taking it off and just politely threw it at Jericho, pointing at him and would saunter out of the ring, making his way to the back almost in a moonwalk-like fashion. The point was definitely clear. Came back from the commercial as the camera was able to sneak inside, catching the conversation between Flair and Dylan.
Look, JJ, I'm not asking for much, but just one more match with Kevin Owens. I had him. At the pay-per-view, he was done, and done for good. I just need one more match with Kevin Owens, and you are going to grant it for me, because I need to put this to rest. Flair, I've told you time and time again the rivalry is over and done. Look, you just came out of the hospital not a few days ago. You're still hopped up on your meds. You're not getting your match with Kevin Owens. The match is done. No, JJ, that's not how it's going to work. You see, what's going to happen is you're going to somehow rig up a way that me and Kevin Owens can have a match. It could be a street fight. It could be inside of a cage. It could be anywhere. I need it to happen, and you're going to make it happen. Actually, Flair, no, I'm not. You see, there's something that you need to know, and no one's ever had the balls to tell you this, and I'm going to be the one to tell you this, but Flair, this isn't your show. This isn't your company. And right now, I'm remembering something that happened a while ago. Something that you had done that actually makes me re-question whether or not I should have even signed you in the first place. What are you talking about? I didn't do anything wrong. You and I both know that Kevin Owens is the guy that tried to run me over at Halloween Havoc, and I'm trying to put him out of this business because he's going to go around killing everybody, and I'm just the guy that needs to put a stop to him. We're horsemen, Dylan. We're horsemen, and you can't turn your back on a horseman. And that right there is exactly what I was talking about, because if I remember correctly, you turned your back on me, Arn, Tully, Wyndham, and Ole at the last War Games match against the Bullet Club. And then the next night on Nitro, you stood in the middle of the ring and said that the Horsemen without Ric Flair was nothing. The Horsemen were dead, you created it, and you were going to kill it. Now, unless I imagine that, Flair, those were some pretty hurtful, truthful words. And this has nothing to do with me wanting to get back at you. This has nothing to do with me being a suit and being drunk with power. What this has to do with is the fact that ever since you won the world title, you had a huge chip on your shoulder. We supported you. We backed you up. And it wasn't until the tides were turned on you that you started to remember who your friends truly were. You notice that your daughter is the women's champion, and yet I'm almost positive you haven't even acknowledged that. She beat Sarah Del Rey at Starrcade. And the only thing you can think of is revenge on Kevin Owens. You turned your backs on your brothers, and all you can think about is revenge on Kevin Owens. The only thing that Ric Flair is thinking about is Ric Flair. I hate to do this, Nate, but this is something that has been forwarded on my desk time and time again. The board has been talking about dismissing you from your duties here in the NWA. And I have done everything in my power to make sure that doesn't happen. Because we all know that this is your life's blood, this is your life's work. Now I could be a son of a bitch and fire you for turning your back on the Four Horsemen, for turning your back on your daughter, for turning your back on everyone that ever supported you. And just because you come back from injury and are now a good guy, we're not going to forgive that. So instead of releasing you from your duties, I'm going to do the one thing that I can do, and I regret to do this, Rick, and it's no hard feelings, but until further notice, you are suspended from active competition. And what that also means, Flair, is no, you cannot come back as a manager, you cannot buy a ticket to the arenas, you can't be here. You are being sent home, where you will stay home until further notice. Option B is you are released from your contract and you can do whatever you see fit. But this is the best that I can do until you get your head screwed on straight. And again, this isn't a personal vendetta, Rick. This is just the way it has to be. I'm going to ask you nicely to please leave my office before I ask security to take you away. Flair had a puzzled look on his face as he would just slowly just leave the office, closing the door behind us. We had no idea what Flair was going to do, but hopefully he took the initiative and went home. Dylan told the cameraman to please leave as we had to go back to the ring.
Gentlemen, this following contest, scheduled for one fall, is a special Chick Fight exclusive. Introducing first, they are Emma, Alexa Bliss, and Dana Brooke. And their opponents, they are Tessa Blanchard, Natalya, and the reigning women's champion, Charlotte. They made it about halfway to the ring when Charlotte was hit from behind by Nia Jax. Oh, this rivalry was not going to end as Nia would start to beat upon them. Natty and Tessa trying to hold her off as the opposition came over to fight them off. Rest would slowly start to take control, starting to move the match over officially to the ring as the match officially began. For lack of a better term, the heels just dominated this match, especially with Nia having a quick jump on all three of them. Bliss, Brooke, and Emma absolutely dominated the would-be heroes here. Natalya trying to rally her team as slowly they started to gain an advantage. It took 1, 2, 3 small melees to slowly get the advantage on their side. Charlotte would drop Emma down, going for the figure 8. But again, Jax entered the ring, disturbing the bout. The referee had to throw the match out, and once again trying to regain control. Nia was just an absolute beast, trying to fight everyone off. Natty and Tessa were detained on the floor as Nia went for a big splash, but unfortunately she missed. Charlotte going for a spear to no effect. Nia just catching it with a drop kick, laughing at her, going to finish her off, but she got turned around and dropped with a spear by Tamina. No one had a clue what was going on, but all 8 women were in the ring just starting to brawl. It only took a couple of minutes as Nia, Alexa Bliss, Brooke, and Emma were tossed to the outside, and only 4 women were left standing. All 4 of them just kind of looked at each other, seeming to have an understanding. The other 4 women being held to the back, getting dragged out, as Nitro would cut to a break. The tag team titles were on the line tonight as Bad Intentions, Anderson, and Bernard went one-on-one with the team of Masahiro Chono and Keiji Muto. This was everything that you thought it was going to be, as these 4 men would just kill each other. The numbers game were not going to be in the Bullet Club's flavor tonight, as Dylan made sure that the rest of the club were kept behind stage. Chono and Muto nearly had the match on 4 separate occasions, but Anderson and Bernard were still just as good of a tandem as Chono and Muto were. They were still able to turn things around, luring him up for the Magic Killer, but Chono was able to break free, starting to drop him down, hitting Bernard with the Yakuza kick. He went for the cover, but Bernard was not the legal man. In the confusion, Anderson turned him around, dropping him with the KA-47. Covering. Scoring the win. That was a shot heard around the world as Anderson and Bernard stood tall, raising the tag team titles up, screaming out that the Bucks had better get their title soon so they can rule the wrestling world, making their way to the back. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the greatest coming to pro wrestling in the world, Bobby Roode. I shouldn't have to state that I am your United States champion, and nobody here is talking about it. No, the only thing that people are talking about are Finn Balor and Bret Hart, and the death of professional wrestling pioneer China. Let me tell you a little something about China. The only good thing she did was make a porno, and that was about it. She used her body like the common whore that she is, just like the common whore that she was in professional wrestling, lived it up and then slowly started to die away. Just like how all of you women here are going to do exactly the same thing. You're going to go home, you're going to deal with your kids, you're going to deal with your husbands or boyfriends, you're going to deal with everything, and then slowly just dry up and fade away into obscurity. And what you really should be doing is the opposite of what China should be doing. Women wrestling, that is the dumbest thing I have ever heard. What they should be doing is getting on their hands and knees, scrubbing floors, and making my dinner. And tonight, my opponent is the exact example of what people should do. While you sit there and mourn the past, I am celebrating the future, as I literally will be dispensing the past right before your eyes. My opponent thinks he has a chance against me, Bobby Roode, your United States champion, and the truth is he has no chance whatsoever. Just like how a lot of you have no chance in being a success in life. You, sir, have no chance at success. You, sir, have no chance at success. And you, lady, have absolutely no chance at success at all. In fact, you don't even have a chance to succeed in a blowjob. Speaking of no chance, I know sometime during the week there's going to be this event called WrestleMania. Don't even bother watching it because Bray Wyatt and Dean Ambrose are your main event, and the two problems with that is it doesn't involve Bobby Roode, and I'm not on the show. So with that being said, don't even bother with WrestleMania. Don't even bother even... His opponent tonight was that of Goldust, who perhaps was trying to get a little bit of revenge for his brother Cody. He went right for Roode, who roped the dope though and caught him with a cheap shot. Goldust just could not get out of the block. He was trying everything he could as Roode rose him on the top rope and dropped him with a superplex. He lined him up, then blasted his head off with a super kick and then finished him off with the payoff, scoring the win. Roode just slowly rose up, raising the title up in the air, laughing down at Goldust as he just shook his head, going to the outside, telling Bobby to open the gate for him, but instead just told him to keep the gate closed, not really wanting to deal with any of the riffraff here tonight, making his way to the back.
You know, you people make me sick. You people make me absolutely sick because you have the audacity to boo me. The audacity to jeer me out of the building, yet you haven't even heard the reason why I did what I did last week. You see, a few years ago, Finn Balor, or Prince Devitt, put a personal hit on the Hart family. He knocked out TJ, he knocked out Harry, he knocked out Natalya, and he put Owen on the shelf right into retirement. So me and Devin have a match. The better man won that night. And I was supposed to just forget what he did to the Hart family. He wins the World Championship, gets beat up by his own group of thugs, comes back to World War, re-wins the World Championship, and again, I'm supposed to forgive what he did to my family. I'm supposed to forgive the fact that he knocked my brother into retirement, that he forced Tyson to go to the WWF, that he beat up Harry earlier tonight, and that he beat up Natalya not once but twice. I'm supposed to just forgive that, and you people cheer him. How would you like if I came up to you, beat you up, and then 6 months down the line I got beat up, and then came back? Would you cheer me? No, you wouldn't. You see, you people make me sick. You cheer for the bad guys, and you boo the good guys. And I know in this era of professional wrestling, there's no such thing as good guys and bad guys. But I'll tell you right now, Finn Balor forced my hand. Last week, I didn't come to save him. I came to fight alongside, and I may have gotten the win, but they played his music. Balor has done nothing but over-glorify the fact that for 2 years, he and his Bullet Club were a bunch of bullies that ran this place roughshod. They pushed people around. They beat people up. And just because he gets beat up by the very club that he started, makes him a hero. That's not a hero. That is society turning on itself. That is professional wrestling turning on itself. And while I'm still here, living and breathing, I'm not going to allow that to happen. So Finn, I know you're back there. I know you gotta be thinking if I'm in cahoots with the Bullet Club. I can tell you right now, Finn, that is an answer you're gonna have to wait to find out. Because at Spring Stampede, if I have to beat you 1,000 times, if I have to beat everyone on this roster, if I have to destroy everything that you hold dear, I will do whatever I have to do to get my hands on the World Heavyweight Championship, break your legs, and force you out of professional wrestling for good. And as far as you fans go, for being too stupid to cheer the bad guy and turning your back on the guys like me, you all can stick it. And when I destroy your hero, you will have no choice. No choice but to cheer the hard-working excellence of execution. The man who is going to get back what rightfully should have belonged to him a long time ago. And put down the bully who masked himself as a hero. At Spring Stampede, I'm going to make him tap out. I'm going to make him cry. I'm going to make him bleed. I'm going to beat him so bad that even if he wins, he'll be forced into retirement. So, friend,
Balor then made his way down to the ring, charging and slid inside, going right after Brett as it was a fisticuffs bout. Balor caught him with a risen knee right to the face, going for the silver bullet, but Bret caught him by the legs, dropping him down and quickly locked him within the sharpshooter. Officials came down to break it up, and Finn could not get out of the hold. Bret just holding on nice and tight, squeezing, refusing to let go. Officials trying to let him to get go, but one by one the officials were pushed aside as the Bullet Club made their presence known, entering the ring. They came inside the ring, making sure none of the officials could get back inside, screaming and yelling that Finn was going to get destroyed here tonight, as Bret would just pull and twist and torque on Balor. He bent him in one hell of a position, bending him nearly in half as Finn just screamed out in pain. Anderson yelling at him that he was going to be in so much pain tonight, screaming and almost spitting at him. The club keeping all the officials at bay as Bret, after what seemed like an eternity, finally let go. Balor was in a bad way. Bret quietly exiting the ring, making his way up the ramp as the club were getting ready to take cheap shots, but extra officials came down to keep them at bay. They pushed him to the outside as Finn was in agony, rolling, holding his back and his leg, trying to stand but was just unable to do so, looking like he wanted to go after Bret one more time, but he just couldn't even stand. Bret just standing upon the stage, looking at the club and then looking at Balor. And then made his exit as the club went to go back inside, but again they were held back, thank God, by officials, as Nitro would fade to black. And your results for Chick 5. The opening contest would see Kana go one-on-one with Bayley, and despite Bayley trying, it was Kana that beat her by choking her out. The second contest saw Tessa and Natalya go one-on-one with Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss. Jax was still not a team player, causing her team big as she was dropped down with one hell of a spear from Natalya as they scored the win. The semi-main event would see AJ Lee go one-on-one with Winter, and this was an insta-classic. Winter tried to go for the Widow's Peak early on, but it was AJ who caught her countering out of it and dropped her with a Widow's Peak, scoring the win. And in the main event, it was Charlotte defending her title against Mickie James. This took up most of television time indeed. Mickie going for all the high-flying aerials, and Charlotte just kept to the ground and pound. Trying to go for the figure four, but Mickie was too skilled for that. Avoiding the mid-kick as Charlotte dropped it with a German suplex pinning combination, retaining her title, and scored the win. Flair would slowly rise, turning around to shake Mickey's hand, nodding in approval as she was jumped from behind by Nia Jax once again. Nia would beat upon her and toss her to the floor, this turning into a brawl as officials came down. Nia saying she wanted one more shot at Charlotte, as she said next week she'll get more than that, as Chick Fight came to a close. And your results for New Japan War. The opening contest saw Nakamura go one-on-one with Tiger Mask 4. And this indeed was a match of the ages as Nakamura scored the win with the Bomayan knee. The second contest would see Jeff Hardy go one-on-one with the one-man man, Heath Slater. And while Slater tried, Hardy was all that much better, hitting him with a twist of fate. The next match would see Ultimo Dragon just absolutely decimate and destroy Fandango, who screamed out that Ultimo Dragon cheated, asking for a rematch. The rematch was granted and Dragon beat him with the Asai DDT for a second time. And in the main event, Chris Jericho put his FIP championship on the line, going one-on-one with Taka Michinoku. The knockout Invincible Taka went for everything he could, but Jericho was just that damn good, dropping him with a code breaker, knocking him out, scoring the win. Jericho would yell out that he was the best in the world and that no one was going to take his championship title away. Nakamura stood upon stage, mocking him, saying that the King of Strong Style was coming for him, as war came to a close.